We're live again on the internet. No matter how much fucked up shit happens in the world, the Coffee Breath crew, we will still be here.
Late as usual.
Late as usual, just only 10 minutes this time. Thanks for everyone who stuck around and waited. Welcome to another episode of the Coffee Breath Show. I am Daniel J. Collette, as always, joined by the regular gremlins, Morgan and Liz, and subbing in again today, because Myles is still benched, and Rebecca so kindly just happened to forget the time of this show.
That we've been doing for 8 weeks.
Yeah, we've been doing this show for 8 weeks, and somehow Rebecca forgot what time it is, so shout-outs to Rebecca if she's out there watching.
In her defense, I also lost track of time, but
I live with you.
I at least knew that it was happening eventually. I was just gluing my eyelashes on when the show was supposed to start.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Harold back by popular demand.
Yeah, back by popular demand. Luckily, our dear friend Harold was available last minute. As always, kind of came in the clutch, so thank you for that, Harold.
We do love him.
We do love you, Harold.
Yeah. He carries the show.
I agree.
We all know this.
That's true, Harold. Very true.
Very good point.
Fellas, I just woke up. Well, first of all, shout outs to everyone in the chat. I see Sharpie, Maddie, AC Boomer Jungle. Thanks for joining us, guys. I just woke up. I am currently nocturnal, covering the League of Legends World Championships in China. So I'm just pounding coffee right now. I think the match just started about like 1 a.m. or 3 a.m. I don't remember. I'll find out when the show ends, and this is my life now.
How many more days are you nocturnal?
Well, I do have, you can't see it, it's just off camera, but I do have a running counter on our chalkboard over there. Days until Worlds is over. 29 days remain. Wow. That is
a lot of days.
I don't want to say that.
Your life.
I don't want to say that out loud. It feels weird. Well, since today is the start of the actual main event of League of Legends Worlds, I thought we'd do something a little bit different. Notorious anti-gamers Morgan and Liz here on the panel.
Sorry, I'm giggling about it. He's hey.
He's hey. He sure is.
He sure is.
You really do be hey.
Notorious anti-gamers Liz and Morgan here have never really even seen or heard of League of Legends before, and now
heard of League of Legends.
I mean, what it is.
Yeah, they've heard of it. They're definitely not that far out of like the I guess the culture, but
I grew up with so many Korean cousins, so
fair.
That should be enough.
And now we live with you.
Now we live with you.
Safe to say, League of Legends is not something that interests you guys. It's not something that it's not part of the world. It's not part of your world's view. It's not within your scope. And since it's literally the only thing like radiating throughout my last brain cell these days.
You have a brain cell left?
No. The like bare scrap of a brain cell that I have left is currently being spent on League of Legends. And so I thought it would be fun to try to explain League of Legends to them, a game that is just absolutely fucking impossible to understand on your first viewing. Yes, I am wearing my League of Legends jacket just for the bit. I don't know. I can't. Let me see if I can get the back on there.
Oh yeah, you got it.
Yeah, there we go. I will definitely. I'm already sweating and I'm drinking very hot coffee, so this is gonna come off any second. But I wanted to start it off with
on Harold.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. It would fit him. He does have the same kind of figure as me.
Yeah, you are about the same size.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Harold and I, we really look a lot alike.
Lack of substance.
Yeah, same stickly figure.
Approximately the same width.
Same Victorian ghost-like shape.
Well, you know, I wasn't just gonna sit here and like pull up some videos. I had to go just a little bit harder than that, so I did prepare at 4 a.m. last night. I was in the middle of a game of League with my friends, and I realized that that tomorrow, or today rather, is Friday, and
Days don't exist anymore.
I don't even know what fucking day it is anymore, but I realized that we had no bit for the show planned, and so
as usual.
And Liz and Morgan were obviously asleep, so I ran around my apartment and found an old calendar which I repurposed as a handmade slideshow.
Again, only
which
the
I will-
highest production
High
value
quality.
here.
You should be taking notes.
Yeah, I would be taking notes if I were you.
There's a test at the end.
Oh, I should have done like a quiz. That would have been fun if I did like a quiz. Yeah, well, that's for next time,
I'm
I
a
guess.
tactile learner. Can I get notes?
Are
there fun games to use?
Well,
or...
League of Legends is a fun game. You could go play League of
Absolutely
Legends
not.
after this.
Absolutely not.
We will not be playing the game on this. I think it'll be funnier if I explain it without any like gameplay on the screen.
I feel like me and Liz should be taking notes in some way. Are the crayons still up here?
Yeah. Let me run and stall for a second.
I don't want to take notes.
All right, so you know me, notorious gamerphobe. I don't believe gamers deserve rights.
It's true.
And my friends are mostly gamers, so that does mean that I don't believe most of my friends deserve rights.
Unfortunately, it's true.
It's true. My friends who are, gay, rights. My friends who are people of color, rights. My gamer friends, no rights. No rights whatsoever.
Absolutely none.
I did use those same exact crayons to make this. So.
Excellent.
All right.
Sorry, whoever just got timed out by Nightbot. I thought I turned that off. So that's my bad. But I'll fix it for next time. All right.
Really
so
take notes.
you have to take notes. I've decided now that you have to take notes.
I need notes because someone talking at me for an extended period of time, explaining something that I have very little interest in. I can't pay attention. So.
That's fair. I think what'll be fun is I will
take
judge.
My Adderall for the day now.
I'm gonna judge whoever has the better and more accurate notes by the end.
Oh God!
Don't make this a competition.
Yeah, it's gonna be a competition. Whoever has the best notes at the end is the winner. Maybe if they play to the maybe if we can get the notes to actually read on the screen, then we'll have the chat vote. But I don't know. I don't have a lot of hope for those crayons.
What's that TikTok trend of people doing really fancy notes to learn about like segregation?
Yeah,
Is
do that.
that a thing?
Yeah,
it's like a bit where you're making fun of like people who take really pretty notes, but they're taking notes on like.
Oh, I've seen that exact TikTok. I just had to think about it for a second.
Personally attacked by that. Yeah. As that bitch who had like 8,000 Muji pens. Me in class
too.
And now here you are writing on a folded, fucked up piece of scrap paper, writing with crayons in a bar, taking notes on my handmade fucking League of Legends.
Both of you to assume I didn't take notes with crayons in high school.
Oh no.
Alright, well, I think we're just gonna get right into it. I'm already sweating, so I think I expect very little time left on this jacket. Let me just see that this line... Okay, this... okay. Let me really quick just adjust the camera lineup.
Yeah,
so
again, only the highest production quality here.
Production.
That should be good. That should be better.
There we go.
Legal legend.
Okay. Are we ready? Class is in session, bitches. Oh, fuck.
Sharpie, I'm glad you enjoyed these streams because I don't.
Thank you to our one fan, Sharpie. We always appreciate having you here.
Our only
holding
fan.
down the fort. All right. So this is Daniel J's Very Professional Guide to League of Legends by Daniel J. Collette. I'll give you guys a second to just, get your notes started before I flip this over.
Need a good header.
Yep, get that header in there.
Listen, I am thriving right now.
Shitballs! Oh, shitballs!
Okay. This is after this week. That's kind of what we deserve.
Yeah, this is the kind of stream. This is the kind of stream that we deserve this week. All right. So I'm just gonna start off here with a quick disclaimer. I just want to say this into the camera, make sure it's loud and clear. Hold on, I'm gonna make sure that it's seen there. I do not play League of Legends. I have had intercourse in my life. I am not a stinky adult virgin. Next. I just wanted to get that out of the way. Just wanted to make sure that we're not, mincing any words here. We're not misleading anyone or confusing the audience about who I am and what I do with my life and the choices I make. Just want to make sure that that is incredibly clear. I do not play League of Legends. I'm not wearing this jacket right now. it was a gift.
Yeah,
okay.
you're really making your case here.
Yeah.
You're thriving here.
Yeah, I've never really even heard of the game. I just Googled it. Okay, so what is League of Legends? What is it? Liz, what do you know about League of Legends?
There's a bunch of little fellas. They're on a screen. It doesn't seem to make any sense. I think there's dragons involved. I heard that phrase thrown around. That's about it. There's a fiddlestick.
Yes.
This
there
I
we
know.
go. Liz is definitely going to have a little bit of an early edge here because the past few nights she has had some insomnia and has stayed up with me at like 3 a.m. watching League.
I know how to read the score.
Yeah, I taught her how to read the score. So
that took about 20 minutes.
She's a little bit ahead of the game. Morgan, what do you know about League of Legends?
My brother plays it into the early hours of the morning, very often.
Sounds about right.
And it's made by the same people who did World of Warcraft, right?
No.
No, it's not. I thought it was.
She gave
I did my best.
That's Blizzard,
Again,
the people I used to work for.
It kind of looks like
it
World
looks
of
the
Warcraft.
same. I don't know. Is it not the same?
Technically, it's not the same.
No, it's not the same.
All right. Well,
we're off to a hot start.
Close but no cigar.
Wow, you can't even make that shit up. All right, the jacket's coming off. Marty's sweating balls.
Oh God.
The bit made it in there though.
Okay, it has the same aesthetic, like that high fantasy.
Yeah, it's Oh yeah, it wasn't gonna fit on Harold. I'm too buff. Sharpie is correct. It was actually
broader than you are.
League of Legends was actually built off of a mod for Warcraft 3, so in a way it was sort of based on it a little bit, but not made by Blizzard Entertainment. All right, well, here we go. What is League of Legends? Get those notes fired up.
Okay.
Thank you, Sharpie. If you know anything about me, it's a commitment to the bit. I just saw the chat is not coming up on the screen. Sorry for that, but yeah, I guess chat is not on the screen tonight.
Should I note that it was built off of World of Warcraft? Is that gonna be in the test?
We're not gonna get into a history lesson because then it's just too much. But you can. It's a little bit of a I guess a bonus point.
Will that be extra credit?
It'll be an extra credit question. Sure, I like that. Okay, so League of Legends is referred to as a MOBA. This is the name of the genre, which stands for Multiplayer Online Battle Arena, which is a bullshit name that doesn't make sense or mean anything. It is kind of just nonsense words. I don't even know where the name originated from, but that is what the genre of League of Legends is. It is a 5-on-5 game. 2 teams go at it, head-to-head. Each player on the team controls a champion, which is just like a little character. There's about 150 of them. So lots to learn there. And the goal is to both kill the other team and, more importantly, destroy their base. Both teams have a base, and the game is decided when one team destroys the other team's base. And in order to do that, they're going to have to clear, get through the other team and their defenses and their, structures that protect them and their minions, stuff like that. Right here, you'll see that I did note that it's kind of like basketball or laser tag, which I think is the most accurate way of describing League of Legends. It's like,
You're gonna get canceled by some Virgin gamer for saying it's like laser tag.
Yes, but if you think about it, it's exactly like laser tag. If you've ever played laser tag where you have to go in and shoot at the base, almost exactly the same thing. Think about it.
Thank you. I don't know if you can see it, but these are some pretty ass notes.
Yeah, fucking right. All right, so League of Legends takes place on a map called Summoner's Rift. There's one location in League of Legends that's always played on the same map. It's because the game is designed around the shape of the map. I am going to go get some kind of pointing device because it's really hard. Hold on,
you should get Toffee's laser pointer.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I don't think the laser pointer will read. I'll try it. It's right here. I was thinking more wooden spoon. That was probably what I was gonna go with.
You're a top. Cool. is that a gamer thing or a gay thing? Like, is it like one of us?
Oh, trust me, you're gonna have a fucking field day with these terms. You're gonna have a field day with these.
Oh no!
All right, so let me see if this laser pointer reads. Let's get back on here.
It's kind of happening.
It sorta. Chad, how do you feel about the laser pointer? I don't know if it's really playing for me, but we'll try it out. Okay, Chad likes it. Cool. We'll do the laser pointer then. Okay, so Summoner's Rift, very important. Ow! Oh fuck! The problem with this setup is that I'm gonna just keep shining myself in the eye.
Oh, again, only the most high quality content here.
Oh fuck! All right, I'm gonna be blind by the end of this lesson. Okay, so wait, this is so hard because it's like. It's like mirrored for me. I'm gonna use the spoon. Chat liked the idea of the laser pointer, and I did too, but it's not really working for me. Okay, so Summoner's Rift. You've got the blue side here. That's where the blue team goes. It's usually in an online match. It's randomly decided. In a professional match, it'll be like a coin flip type of thing. So you got the red side and the blue side. It's basically they're mirrored like versions of each other for the most part, but there are some little differences that we won't really get too much into. So the game is designed around 3 main lanes, and this also kind of dictates the roles that each player plays is based on what lane they're in. So you've got the top lane, you've got mid, the middle lane, and you've got bot, the bottom lane. You might want to take some notes on that. That's really important. The top lane, the middle lane, and the bottom lane. And then there's also this other area kind of around the middle here that I colored green, these 2 areas here. That is referred to as the jungle, which is kind of like the neutral area in between the lanes, and there is a player called the jungler whose job is to hang out around there and play in that space. But generally the way the 5 people are split up is that there's 1 player in the top lane, 1 player in the mid lane, and then 2 players in the bottom lane. There's the bottom laner, also known as the ADC, Attack Damage Carry. That's their position name. And then they play alongside a support player in the bottom lane. And then the 5th player roams around the jungle, like I mentioned. So that's where all 5 of the players go. Every player, it's like similar to any other sport where players play a position. Guys are known as like a top laner player or a mid lane player. Like that is their job, and they only play that position.
Can they be referred to as a switch, or?
Yeah, will they get offended?
Well, you can call them bottoms and tops. It's not inaccurate to call them a bottom or a top. Zoom back out here. I am also producing this live if that wasn't clear off my phone. So with Summoner's Rift, you're going to be like moving around this map. Basically, these points at the very end here are the bases. And so your goal is to go from your team's base where you start all the way over to the other team's base down here and kill it. Harold, what are your thoughts so far? Do you want to just catch us up to what you're thinking? Yeah, cool. I agree. Yeah, that makes sense.
See, Harold and I wouldn't be lovers if he also didn't believe gamers didn't deserve rights.
Yeah, it's one of his character traits that he's really well known for in the medical community. Since he is, as you can see here, a PhD graduate of the Harvard School.
He does not treat gamers.
Yeah. He is actually a biased doctor who will refuse treatment to gamers.
Yeah.
So this is me trying to, educate him, kind of break some of his intolerances and his biases. Like I said, the goal is to go from one base to the other and destroy it. And it's not so simple as just walking right down there, right? Like there are many lines of defense that each team has. Primarily, these little red squares here are called towers, which are basically these like large structures that will shoot at the enemy team if they come near them. And in order to get to the opponent's base, you need to clear out their towers, because the towers will kill you if you try to progress past them while they're still alive. So basically the flow of the game is to you go in your lanes, you break the towers, and then you get to the base, and then there's a few more towers inside of there protecting what's called the nexus, which is the point that you destroy in the base. And then when you break those, you can then take down the nexus and win the game. So pretty straightforward, sounds pretty simple right off the bat. Any questions here before we move on?
What's the nexus?
The Nexus is the thing in the base that you destroy. So like that's how you
Okay.
win the game. It's like there's a big glowy gem at the very backside of each team's base, and you win by destroying that big glowy gem.
Losing my crayons.
Yes.
Yeah, Ben, we've been instructed to take notes.
Yeah, I will be judging their notes at the end of the lesson. We'll be coming back to the Summoner's Rift map later on. It's something we'll constantly have to refer back to as the lesson goes on. This one might be a little hard to read. I think I wrote just a bit too much here. So we're just gonna explain a little bit more about the roles that I explained before. All 5 positions here: top, mid, jungle, ADC, which is also the bottom lane, and then support, which starts off the game by playing in the bottom lane with the ADC player. So the top lane, this guy plays by himself in top. Generally, this guy is going to be kind of your heavy defensive frontline kind of tank guy. So you can think of him as like, what's the guy in football that goes in the front?
You're asking
Why
the
would
wrong
you
people.
think no?
Yeah, clearly none of us know that. Well, he's like that guay. He's generally gonna his game plan is to lineman. Thank you, pretty lawful. Top laners' goal is to kind of generally they're melee characters, so they fight like hand to hand as opposed with range. And their goal is to kind of become big and tough and be like the frontline defense for the team. And their goal is they're usually also built specifically to take down structures like the towers more quickly than other characters are. So that's the top laner's kind of game plan and goal. The mid laner is kind of like your main guy, sort of like your quarterback. Like the mid laner is usually the star player on the team. They're kind of like the middle late game like carry player, which means they're gonna at the start of the game they won't be doing the most impactful stuff, but by the end of it they're supposed to be the one really like dishing out the damage and getting the kills and doing the crazy shit. They also play alone in the middle lane, but usually work pretty closely with the jungler. And their middle lane's goal is to, they're usually a little bit more focused on killing minions, which are your little computer-controlled friends that will come down the lane and fight with you. Can you explain mid or feed to Morgan and Liz? You mean like the term feeding? I think we'll get there at some point. But first let me get through the roles. Next role we have is jungle. This is kind of the most complicated role in the game. So they exist here in... So if you remember this green area here, this is the jungle. So their job is to hang out around there. And inside the jungle, there's a bunch of neutral enemies. So enemies that are controlled by the computer that are not that don't fight for either side. And the jungler's goal is to basically float around in there and kill a bunch of those guys to gain experience and help his team level up faster. And also, his job of being the guy who's floating in the middle of the map is also to what's called gank, which means you hop in and out of a lane that is not your lane to help them out in if a fight breaks out in the bottom lane, he's kind of like the floater, right? So he'll float to that lane, help them out, and then go back into the jungle and keep doing his thing. It's very big brain. I made a point here, very big brain role. And they're the type of characters that you play in that position are usually focused on high movement, so they're zooming around the map real fast because they need to get from point A to point B very quickly. Next role, ADC. This is sort of like the other star player on the team generally. I actually can't even read my own handwriting here.
Can you ever?
Pass me another sheet of paper?
Yes.
Oh god, I'm dying. All right.
Thank you.
So they're kind of the main damage dealer for a large majority of the game. Usually depends on how your team is composed. They're a little bit squishier usually, which means they kind of die easy. They're low defense, high attack. They're kind of like the glass cannon of the team, which is why they're played alongside. Which is why the support spends most of their game playing alongside of them. Their goal is to be the big strong person on your team by the end of the game and really carry you at the end there. So their game, they play more of a long game, kind of building towards the later stages of the game where you become so strong that you can take out other champions really quickly. And then the last one, support, pretty straightforward. What you would imagine a support player would do, which is a lot of stuff like healing, giving shields, defending, or even less straightforward stuff like crowd control type of abilities that like set up a fight that can like start a fight by like I don't know, maybe like stunning someone and creating an opening for the ADC to go in. So there's a lot of different kinds of support, but for the most part their job is to hang out in the bottom lane with the ADC and help them survive in the early game, and then once they're good and strong, then the support might kind of float around and help the other team complete tasks around the map or win team fights, stuff like that. Any questions on the positions before we move on?
No?
Liz, you're a little bit quiet over there. You really, I guess,
I'm focusing.
Consumed with your studies. I like that. I like that. That's really good. I see that you're dedicated to your work.
I'm a very quiet, nervous student.
Okay, so this maybe should have come earlier on, but I'm gonna explain, like, you know what, I'm gonna skip around a little bit. I think I mean, I did this at 4 in the morning, and I think that the order of things that I explained is maybe not necessarily, the best way to do it, so let me hop over to this one.
Excellent professor over here.
First,
very well organized.
Wait, actually,
I feel like I'm getting the real Emerson College experience here.
Really is a moment.
I am unfortunately mansplaining League of Legends to you. I will be the first to admit it. We can't really beat around the bush here. I am unfortunately mansplaining League of Legends right now.
Welcome to
It's
hell.
not even like the kind of conversation I can just walk away from.
Nope.
Like, I'm trapped here.
Yeah, there is literally no room in this bar for you to walk away.
Unless I just jump the bar.
Which you will probably break it.
Yeah,
so I am stuck here, held hostage.
Yep. Welcome to the COFFEEBREATH Show, baby.
Oh, God.
Oh, God, Jesus Christ. This has big scattered professor vibes. I'm definitely scattered. Like I said, I just woke up and I'm still finishing my coffee, so doing my best here, guys. So let's talk about the game phases. The game goes through a few phases. A game of League of Legends can be anywhere between like 20 and 45 to 50 minutes. So it really depends on like how much of a back and forth it is, but it can be quite long. And the game goes through many phases throughout those 45 minutes or so. Starts with the pregame. Everyone loves a good pregame, which is...
I know I do.
Which is the draft. So there's a phase before the game even starts where both teams sit down and they actually draft out their team compositions, as in like what character each person is playing. And there's a sort of complicated process where they go back and forth, and they each, so there's over 150 characters in total, and they each take turns banning 5 characters, so removing them from the pool of options.
Why?
To both prevent, there's a lot of different reasons why you ban a champion. If say it's sort of like a tactical thing, like so if one player is really well known for being like exceptionally good on one champion, often their opposing team will come in and ban that champion. They'll make it a priority to make sure that player can't select that champion. And so in League of Legends, there are very few people who are known for like playing exactly one specific champion because of the way that the game works. Is that
That's how I would play the game.
I ban champions because they're ugly. Yeah, fair.
I've restarted entire Animal Crossing islands because I got ugly villagers. I get that.
It's sort of like that. It's a little bit like that. But yeah, there's a number of different reasons for like matchups. Like if say this champion really like shuts down, you want to play champion A, but there's maybe a champion B out there that their moveset is really designed around shutting down champion A. You would want to ban champion B in that scenario. So the draft is like a 10 to 15 minute long thing where the teams are deciding what characters they play, and then they go into the game once that's decided. Which is the early game, also known as the laning phase. That's when everyone is just hanging out in their designated lane, doing their thing. At this point, there might be some early team fights, but for the most part, everyone's just kind of focused on their little tasks. Everyone has little tasks to do, which are mostly killing...
It's just me every morning. So I wake up and I do my little tasks.
Attend to your little lists.
Yeah, it's basically like tending to your little list. That's a great way of putting it. There's like a few things that each position is kind of focused on. In addition to like, kind of starting to like play a little footsies game with the other person with your opponent in your lane. You're also focused on killing all of their minions to like gain experience and make yourself stronger, so that you have enough abilities and power to start taking down turrets. So the early game is mostly about like growing your champion by killing things that are mostly not player controlled. The mid game begins once people become strong enough to take down a tower. Once a tower is killed, then generally people are not tied to their specific lanes anymore. That's when they start float. Everyone will kind of float around the map and generally play as a group, as opposed to being split off. Because at that point, you're going to start fighting for specific objectives on the map, and also pushing towers together as a group to get them faster. So that's in the mid game. Late game is generally when... Wait, what did I say here? Yeah, that's probably a good way of putting it. The late game kind of begins once one team enters another team's base. Even if they don't successfully take it out, if they approach into the base and make it inside of there and start working on taking it out, that's kind of the late game, because now we're at a point where everyone's characters are strong enough to fight inside of the base. And then sometimes if a game runs really long, the last phase of it will be called kind of the closing game is usually what it's referred to as, which is just where everyone is dummy strong and just having massive 5v5 team fights inside of each other's bases back and forth until one of them actually ends up taking it out. So that's kind of the general flow of the game. The average match, what it looks like in terms of pacing, and all of that'll happen over the course of about 45 minutes or so. Harold, any questions before we move on? That is a really good question. So, how do you know when hold on, let me go back, because Harold asked a really good question.
Thanks for that, Harold.
Harold asked, how do you know when, where to go once you start floating between lanes? And that is a great question. We'll go back to Summoner's Rift here. So, like I said, you start off the game kind of playing in these lanes here. And then once one of these towers finally goes down, say this is the first tower to go down, generally these guys are going to start floating up here in what's called the river, this blue part. That's sort of like the divider, the kind of horizontal divider across the map. Generally, at that point, the jungler may be over here working on some shit, and they're going to go help him. It's sort of, at that point, it's kind of subjective to what's happening on the map, so you're going to go where your team needs you the most. So say the jungler wants to, fight this dragon right here at that point. Mid lane will probably come down and help him. Both people in the bottom lane will probably come up and help him just because they're all kind of nearby. Top lane's probably still just vibing up there doing his thing. Top lane generally plays the most independently out of everyone in the game. So he might still be hanging out up there. He might be going back to the base to heal up and buy some items. He might be doing his own thing. But yeah, it's generally dependent, Harold, on what your team is up to and what your goals are in the immediate moment.
Good question, buddy.
Yeah, really good question, Harold.
I think he's the most active listener out of all of us.
Yeah.
He's taking notes up here.
Yeah, I mean, I think he gives a shit, unlike you.
I am making some gorgeous
I'm taking notes.
Excuse you. Well, you can't see it, but it's very pretty.
Before we move on to the next part, how are we feeling, guys? How's everyone, how's your general intake of information? How's your brain? Liz, quick brain check on you over there. How's your brain doing?
God.
Hold on. Yep, there she is.
I don't really have one, personally. But I am writing things down. So theoretically, I'm listening.
You do have a lot written down over there. I'm actually really excited to read these notes.
I should bully you more in them.
Morgan, how about you? How's your mental doing here?
It's been 6 months since a man has mansplained gaming to me in an alcoholic setting, and
6 whole months? That's every weekend up here.
That's true. Well, I don't count that.
Yeah, I don't actually mansplain. It's different when I do it.
Okay, but it's not like someone who I'm this is someone who I might sleep with. JK, it's a different energy.
As soon as the gamer talk comes out,
as soon as the gamer talk comes out, you're like, oh god, why am I here? So part of me is do I miss the pre-core life?
The weird thing for me though is that I kind of have the opposite experience. Whenever my gamer talk comes out, that's when I seal the deal. generally in my experience.
As the least virginal person here at this bar.
Well, I would like to just quickly remind everyone, let's just quickly, since it came up in conversation, just as a quick recap to be perfectly clear, disclaimer, I do not play League of Legends. I have had sex in the past. So, again, just want to remind everyone since we're on the topic. Well, anyway, let's move on.
Maybe I don't miss pre-quarantine life.
Yeah, I don't think I do.
I
think
know.
it's better this way.
This is kind of just bringing it back, and I'm like, oh man, my life has improved significantly.
Should that be in your notes? Yes, please make sure. The other, I'll tell you right now, I'll be like the cool teacher who gives you a heads up on the extra credit. The 2 extra credit questions will be, what game was League of Legends originally based on, and who was it developed by, and it was not the company that Morgan thought it was. And then the other extra credit question will be, has Dan had sex ever? That will be the second extra credit question, so just make sure to make a note of that.
I don't think I can correctly answer either of those questions.
Yeah.
Well, then you're not going to get the extra credit.
I'm fine with that.
All right, so let's talk about what kind of things you're focusing on throughout this game, because I feel like the way that I've kind of laid it out, it might be a little bit unclear what the minute-to-minute goal of each player is. So here are some focus points for you to think about. Just some key details in the game of League of Legends. So the thing that you're always thinking about in League of Legends, probably the most important indicator of your team's current placement and success, is your gold. So every time you kill something, whether it's a computer-controlled enemy, or a opponent player, or even a structure like a tower, you get gold. And gold is really important because you spend whenever you're back in your base, which you can choose to go back at any time, or if you die, you get sent back there. Anytime you're back in your base, you can buy items, which I should have put, I guess, second because those two go together. Items are things that your character holds onto that build your stats in different ways. And there are lots of fucking items. There are so many fucking items, and they all do very tiny different little things to each other. So this one will raise your attack by 10 and your movement speed by 5, and this one will raise your movement speed by 30 and also give you this other little thing. And so one of the really long-term skill things to learn in League of Legends is what each item does and how and when you want to buy it and how to build. You basically as your character progresses, their stats will naturally go up, but your kind of control over the character's progression is through items. So if you decide I want to move really fast in this game, it's really important for me to move fast, you're going to be spending most of your gold on movement speed-based items. Or if you want to be the heavy hitter on the team, you're going to be spending most of your gold on items that will increase your attack power. And through your combination of items, you create a unique build for that character that then impacts their stats in a meaningful way. The other thing you get from killing things is experience points, which is, like I said, that's how your character levels up. You start at level 1, and by the end of the game, you're usually somewhere between level 12 and 16. Every time you level up, you gain access to a new ability, which is your special moves. In the first few rounds, you're gaining access to that ability, and then after you gain access to all of your abilities, then you start every level being able to power up those abilities and make them even stronger. So that's sort of how the game scales. Everyone kind of starts weak with one ability, and then by the early game, you should have access to most or all of your abilities, and then by the late game, you've leveled all of those abilities up even further to be stronger than they were before. The other things you're focusing on are minion waves. So minions are the little fellas that they're not like the big glasses kind of minion, not like the not that kind of minion.
This isn't minion turf?
No, it's not minion turf. Minions are small little fellas that your base sends out automatically. Every couple minutes, they'll send out a wave of minions, so it'll be 10 little guys, and they each get sent. Oh fuck.
Nice.
We're thriving here.
Oh yeah, this is content, baby. This is content,
Sure.
And I'm the king of it.
Putting out content that our names are attached to.
Yep.
Yep. This is on the internet forever.
So, minion, every couple minutes or so, your base sends out about 10 little guys down each lane, and they are controlled by the computer. They basically are just dummies that run forward and shoot little attacks at both enemy champions, enemy minions, and enemy towers as well. And they don't do a significant amount of damage that will really kill anyone or destroy any objectives, but their purpose is to just kind of create pressure and create more dynamic fights, because the minions will fight each other and also the enemy champions while you're fighting them as well. So it's sort of like a little army that fights with you that you don't have control over, but you manipulate based on a number of different factors of how you're playing the game. So control over your minions is very important. And then the last thing here, which I didn't put last, but I think it should probably be last, is neutral objectives. Throughout the map, there are, like I said, in the jungle area, there's some big fellas that will pop up there every few minutes or so, and killing them, they are usually large enough that you might need a couple people on your team to take them out. So they're team-based things where it's all right, the dragon is here, everyone's going to come together and fight the dragon. And if you kill the dragon, you receive some kind of stat boost or some kind of large bounty for your team. I wish Dan would say more. Fuck you. Yeah, eat shit. I don't know. Okay, so neutral objectives. I did do some art for this.
Oh.
I'm excited about this part so you guys can see my art.
Oh, Lord.
Pass me another piece of paper.
Wait, before we move on, any questions on that? Any questions from the group? I'll give you a moment to
this
collect your
is
paper.
the most I've ever wanted to hear you speak. I have never wanted to hear you speak.
I'm enthralled, personally.
Yeah.
My voice hurts already. Also, I'm drinking coffee, so my mouth is dry. I should probably get some water, but whatever.
Yeah.
Fuck it. Who cares?
Are you gonna auction off the art?
I did see an error in your notes. It looks like you miswrote this one here.
It says Daniel J is a virgin. And,
it looks like Morgan wasn't paying attention already, so I expect her to lose
this. The thing is, I know the source material to be true that you are indeed a virgin.
Yeah,
so.
well, I mean,
I think.
Sorry, who's the fucking teacher? Sorry, who's the fucking teacher here? Who's the fucking teacher here?
The media, it's my job. As part of the mainstream media, it's my job to fight disinformation. So I just want to put the facts out there.
Cringe, fucking cringe. She's not even paying attention to me, guys. What's the fucking point? She's not even gonna listen.
Sam's teaching us some historical inaccuracies.
Yeah,
here.
I don't know. I don't think we at Bar Coffeebreath support revisionist history. Yeah. So.
I've got something you can revise, and it's these nuts. All right, moving on to neutral objectives. So these are the big fellas that your team needs to kill together. First off, these ones aren't necessarily neutral because they do spawn on either side of the map, but it is there's a big blue guy who spawns on the blue side and a big red guy who spawns on the red side. These are the first kind of big fellas that will be on the map. They're commonly referred to as the blue buff and the red buff. They spawn at the very beginning of the game, so they're going to be the first big targets that you see. Killing one of these fellas will give you a variety of early game boosts that are going to really help you out. So it'll increase your attack power, it'll make your health regen faster, it'll give you more mana, which allows you to cast your special moves, your abilities more frequently. Just a lot of different good stuff that you want in the early game. They'll respawn a few times as well, and there is a little bit of a metagame around going into invading each other's jungles and killing their buff and stealing it from them. That's something that a jungler is always thinking about. The other early game one that you're going to see is called the Scuttle Crab, which I should have drawn in a color that plays on the screen. He's a little fella who just runs around in the river part, the middle of the map. He'll go back and forth between the two, and he's real fast, so you kind of have to chase him down. But if you kill him, he's going to grant you a lot of vision, so you can see more parts of the map, outside of your immediate range. Which is always an important thing. League of Legends is very focused on gaining intel, so figuring out where the other team is. You can only see so far away from yourself, and so there's a variety of different ways, such as killing him, that can grant you further vision across the map and help you gain more intel on what your team, the enemy team, is up to, and adjust yourself accordingly. You main Byleth, yeah, that's my favorite League of Legends champion.
Yeah.
All right, so those are the first two fellas. Next fella, I'm really proud of this art. I hope it reads on the screen. Hold on, fuck. Good. So these are the dragons, key part of the game here. Take a good look. I'm going to zoom in even further so you can see my dragon.
Beautiful.
I really put a lot of thought into.
School.
Yeah, I did go to art school. I am an artiste, as you can see here. It does a little bit look like Trogdor the Burninator. That was an accident. All right, so the dragons are very important. So the dragons, they spawn in a specific spot on the blue team side of the map. So let me go back to Summoner's Rift real quick. Where the fuck is that? So I wrote this on the back of a calendar because that was the only large paper I had around, so it's kind of tough to find the things that I'm looking for. Okay, here we go. So these two spots on the map that I've marked brown, they look kind of like turds. Those are the pits, commonly referred to as pits. There's one on blue side and one on red side. And that's where the key main big neutral guys will spawn. And one of the like major differences to consider between whether you're red team or blue team is that those spawn locations have different enemies in them. So you will, by being in the blue side, you'll have a greater ease of access to the guys who spawn over here, which are the dragons, which I'm about to get into. And then the red team has closer access to these guys. Although anyone can get to any place at any time just by walking there. It's a little bit of an advantage by being closer to it. So the dragons spawn here in this pit. This is where all the dragons will always be here. They spawn every few minutes after like once you kind of get into like end of early game, beginning of middle game, you're going to start to see a lot of dragons. Dragons are really important. It's random. There's a bunch of them. It's random which one comes in usually. And there's a few different elemental ones. You have the Infernal Drake, the Cloud Drake, the Mountain Drake, and the Ocean Drake, and it'll generally be random at first which one pops up. And by killing those, you get very specific bonuses for your whole team that are each impacted by like which type of dragon it is. It gives like some various buffs and stuff, and by killing them a certain number of times, you can also change the geography of the map depending on which dragon you kill multiple times. And then after those, you will see the Elder Drake, which is like the big bad dragon. One of the stronger things that you'll see on the map. Not quite the biggest one, but one of the bigger ones. And he is fairly difficult to take down, but he's going to give you he's going to like basically double down the bonuses that you've received from the other dragons if you kill him. So all of these like neutral objectives, they're like optional but not really optional. So they're things that like you can choose to do at any point when it's there. It'll just spawn. It'll just be there for a while. And because it's what's called a neutral objective, it means both teams basically want to kill it to gain the bonuses from it. So it's kind of like a incentive for the teams to fight each other. Fights usually the first big like team fight of the game, which is when you've got multiple people fighting against each other, not just like a one-on-one thing. The first big team fights of the game will happen around the neutral objectives. So say, it's like end of the early game and blue team wants to go take the first dragon. Red team probably knows that they're there and they're going to go and try to like basically get the jump on them or steal it from them and shut them down in the process. So the last two neutral objectives, the Rift Herald, also known as Herald.
Herald.
Oh,
he looks like this. I think it's actually a she. I don't know if that's true. That's what I've heard. Looks like this, kind of like a big like crabbish thing. And so this is one of the few that it doesn't really give you any kind of stat related bonus, but it is it's like this big old fella. And if you kill the Rift Herald, you basically can then summon the Rift Herald one time. For the next maybe like 10 minutes or so.
Oh, Harold's leading in.
Oh, Harold, come back.
Harold.
Speaking of Harold, he's the Rift Herald. She does also go by Shelly. Thank you.
Wow.
See, that's true. Some people refer to her as Shelly.
Love that for her.
Because she has a big shell. So when you kill the Rift Herald, you can then summon the Rift Herald to basically help you like take out structures like towers. Whenever you summon it, it'll run towards the nearest enemy tower and basically like kill it in one shot. So it'll come kind of like in the end of the early game as kind of a way to help like break stalemates if both teams are just kind of having trouble like taking down the towers and progressing throughout the game. One of them might go take the Rift Herald and then use that as like a fast track to just getting rid of one of those motherfuckers. Yes, Sharpie in the chat is correct. The Rift Herald kind of creates pressure for the other team. It sort of breaks a stalemate or like increases the speed of the towering, the laning phase with the towers. And then the last one we've got here is the big bad. That's, you can see here I've written big bad. That's Berrin. Berrin Nashter is his name. We'll commonly just shorten to Berrin. He's the biggest, fattest motherfucker on the map.
The Guppy of League of Legends, if you will.
Yeah, if you've ever seen our cat Guppy, he's very similar in stature. The Berrin is important for a bunch of different reasons. Mainly, it gives you the most significant stat boosts, and it gives it to everyone on your team and your minions as well. And it lasts for quite a long time. I think 2 minutes maybe, which is a good amount of time in the game, or until you die. If you die, you lose the what's called the Berrin buff. But he's so big, he usually requires at least bare minimum 2 people to take him out, generally even more. And so the idea is that because it requires a bunch of people to be there at once, it's again like a neutral objective that will force a team fight. Because he's such a valuable asset to get, both teams want to fight over him and steal it from each other, because getting the Berrin buff will not win you the game, but it'll definitely, if you're at a maybe 60-40 kind of back and forth, if the team who's a little bit in the lead gets the Berrin, it becomes a massive lead and you can win the game off of that. It's a potentially game-changing thing, so everyone always wants to look out for the Berrin Nashter.
Mr. Nashter, if you will.
So those are all the neutral objectives. Any questions there on any of those monster fellas?
I think I'm good on the monsters.
You're good on the monsters? Well, Harold, anything from you?
Harold's invading your space a little bit.
It's fine.
Yeah, you guys are getting kind of frisky over there.
Yeah.
Can you fucking chill it out? This is a fucking...
Harold would never mansplain League of Legends to me. Let me just say.
This is a family stream.
Yeah, come on. Get over here, Harold. Stop that.
You know what's fucked up? In my brain when you were explaining, this won't win you the game, but it will give you a lot of points, I was like, haha, just like in Quidditch. And then I was like, oh no!
Oh no!
She's a millennial! She's a millennial!
Oh no!
God!
Morgan's saying turf rights right now?
No!
Is that what you're saying, Morgan?
Absolutely not!
You heard it here first on the COFFEEBREATH Show.
No.
Morgan said turf rights.
Morgan said turf rights.
Gamers.
Morgan said turf rights.
No.
Shameful.
Okay.
Don't listen to her, Harold.
Yeah, Harold, cover your virgin ears.
Listen, my dive back into rediscovering my fanfiction from my youth has brought back a lot of Quidditch memories for me.
Wait, I thought your fanfiction was about Twilight.
No, I wrote so much fanfiction.
She wrote a lot of
fanfiction.
fiction.
I wrote my favorite one was an Avatar, Harry Potter, Twilight, triple crossover.
Whoa. I thought you didn't tell me there was Harry Potter in there too. I thought it was just Twilight and Avatar.
No, my first fanfiction wasn't actually about Harry Potter. It was about a Harry Potter musical, if you're familiar.
Oh god.
Morgan officially posting cringe.
I was very deep in fandom Tumblr. You know what?
Oh,
I am on my current career path because of it. So.
I will help Morgan's embarrassment really quick by saying that I did play Quidditch in college for 2 weeks.
You did?
I thought it would make me friends, and then I realized that everyone who played Quidditch was fucking weird.
Yeah.
And then I quit.
Yeah. For anyone who doesn't know, we all went to college together, and our school was... weirdly, it was very non-athletic school. It was D3, but barely.
The only sport that Emerson College ranked in was Quidditch.
Yeah, we were embarrassingly.
Really
I don't know what else to say except embarrassingly, one of the best Quidditch schools in the country.
We had 9 Quidditch teams.
So hard to say out loud, but it really does kind of paint you a picture of what type of school we went to.
We had 9 Quidditch
intramural
teams.
Quidditch, and then there is competitive
varsity Quidditch.
Varsity
Quidditch.
Yeah.
World Cup team,
it's
baby.
really fucking embarrassing.
Yeah, there was the World Cup team, and then there was was 8 intramural teams that all played each other.
Yeah, it was like a point of pride for the school, which is like even more cringe. Like they love it. Like they make like T-shirts that they sell in like the bookstore, and like when you go on like your tour of the college,
they mention Quidditch.
They're like, oh, you know, fun fact about us, we're the best Quidditch school in the country.
Yeah.
Like, isn't that cool?
There was intramural Quidditch.
Listen, I was cringy by writing Harry Potter, a Harry Potter musical fan fiction, but I was 14. At least I wasn't 18 years old joining the Quidditch team.
I didn't know how to make friends.
Yeah, that's super cringe. I actually didn't know you were on the Quidditch team. Most people with like
for 1 a week.
Most people with like self-esteem and like a brain at the school would like dunk on the Quidditch kids.
I had neither. So,
yeah.
Quidditch kids were known for 2 things, being virgins and having the most sexually unsafe party house.
Yes.
They had a frat house.
The tree house.
Yeah, they had a frat house where you could, if
infamous
you shouldn't
for Title IX complaints.
Yeah, infamous for being the absolute just creepiest place to go to a party.
Yeah.
Yep, it was unpleasant.
Yeah.
And everyone who was on like the hardcore Quidditch team was like super proud of it. Like,
yeah,
they were like, oh, I got
they're
practice
definitely.
in the morning.
I think the best comparison is like they were the band kids of our college, but like in a way
like
that
if band kids were also the football team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine how fucking awful that sounds. Like just picture that combination of concepts in your fucking brain.
Oh God.
Right. Well, anyway, now
what a digression.
Now that we've explained that and learned some interesting fun facts about Liz, we are reaching. We're nearing the end of the lesson here, so let's take a recap of the game flow. Let's just.
Could you hand me another piece of paper?
Yes.
I'll hold.
I'm
I'll
taking
hold.
some very big notes
I'll hold
here.
for the notes here.
Yeah.
Chad, if any League of Legends experts are out there and you feel like I've missed anything so far, feel free to shout it out in the chat and I can explain it a little bit more. I'm sure this was not a very thoroughly planned lesson. Like I said, this was a last-minute idea at 4 in the morning. And most
Coffee Breath shows are.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that's kind of par for the course. I did try to get some of my League of Legends expert friends to come help us. But they're all asleep because they're not fucking idiots like I am, because we're all working a night shift right now, and I woke up way before the night shift to do this, but that's okay. Because I gotta be here for you guys, gotta provide the content for the people.
Yeah, Dan's sacrificing for the content.
Ben brings up an interesting point. I didn't explain how to call my teammates slurs. That is an essential part of League of Legends. Is the use of slurs in the in-game chat.
Of course,
it's key to the overall experience. You really won't have a game of League without either getting a player on the other team whose like name is a slur, or they're just like, or if you make the smallest mistake, they're just spamming slurs in the chat.
Love to
very chill.
Yeah, you can like mute people. You can like turn it off so they can't like you won't see their chat messages. But there's a number of different ways to harass people in League of Legends. Known for being one of the most toxic video games on the planet, which is mostly a result of it being free to play. So if your account ever gets banned, you can just make another one.
Yeah, that's impressive. I don't have.
I have some right here.
Okay.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Look at me, such a good prepared teacher.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, this is definitely not for when we spill things behind the bar.
Not for when Myles decides to dump an entire glass of water down his pants.
Yeah, or when you decide to knock off an entire fucking pie that then causes an ant infestation in the fucking bar that takes me 3 fucking days to get rid of because I have to go to fucking Home Depot and buy a fucking bug bomb and fucking clear out the entire bar and then bug bomb it because Morgan spilled a fucking apple pie on the floor.
Listen, I'm sorry. Myles handed me the fork, but there's already a fork on the pie. That's all I can say.
Well, I hope it was worth it. I hope that pie was delicious because it caused me a lot of pain.
Okay, it's not as good as their lemon pie.
I'm glad it was worth it.
Alright, so let's recap a basic game of League of Legends here, just to make sure it's all in our skulls. So you start off the game by drafting, you do the draft to pick your champions. You know, this is just a short phase before the game begins. Build your team, decide what your composition is, what your goal is with that team, what your win conditions are, as in, like, say you pick someone who's, like, who has one ability that gets incredibly strong. If you build it in a certain way by the end of the game, then that becomes your team's win condition. That's the thing that you're all working towards, is getting that guy's thing to the point where he can just like guaranteed roll the other team and win the game. So that's where you kind of determine your win conditions and your team composition and kind of analyze the opponent's strategy as well, because you see what characters they pick as you go along. So then the game starts, and what did I say here? It's kind of hard to read.
Your handwriting's always hard to read.
The game starts in the laning phase. You're killing minions to build experience and get gold, and then use that to buy some early items, and then make sure you've got all your abilities accessible. And then you're also going to play for ganks and early kills, which means, like, say, if you catch someone out of position and your jungler can come down and help you take them out, get an early kill, take an early lead in the game. Kill against any opponent champion, specifically. And then from there, you're going to try to break the towers to clear a path to the base once you're strong enough to kind of take those on, because there's some big, thick fellas, and they do a lot of damage to you if you don't come at them properly. So your goal is to kind of then kill the turrets here, and then once the turrets start coming down, then you're probably going to start moving on to some neutral objectives, take some of those to gain a little bit of advantage, whatever kind of advantage that is, whether it's a dragon buff, or a Baron buff, or a scuttle buff, whatever the fuck buff you want to get. And then that's also where you're going to start having your team fights as well. Which is usually anywhere between, a team fight is usually considered anywhere between like 4 to 5 people from each team all fighting each other at the same time. It becomes a shit show and it's very hard to follow. It's one of the, also requires a lot of really fast decision making in a team fight. That's one of like the hardest things to learn as both a viewer and a player of the game, is the kind of intricacies of a team fight. But that's not too important right now. And then through all of that, you are building your champion to get bigger and stronger by gaining as much experience as you can, and then spending that gold that you're getting on items to set them up in a very specific way for success. And then after that, once you're big and strong, and you've maybe killed a few of those neutral objectives and gotten yourself the right advantage to maybe take a risk and break into the enemy base, that's when you want to go in there and try to destroy their nexus to win. Whoever destroys that nexus first is the winner. And that's pretty much a game of League of Legends, fellas. Any other questions on the
are these slurs that are necessary for gameplay, are they confined to a specific, vulnerable, marginalized identity?
Nothing's really...
all slurs in general?
Yeah, nothing is really out of the realm of possibility when it comes to the slurs that you will see in the in-game chat. Believe me, I've seen some shit that I would not expect. League of Legends is such an interesting place for human beings to interact with each other. You kind of never... every day it's always something new, but it's always the same. In the way that you can always count on at least one person in the game being extremely toxic, but everyone kind of has their own way of going about doing it. Sometimes people will do things to intentionally throw in the game because they're mad at you and just like stop playing. Other people will just get so focused on calling you a slur in the chat that they stop playing as well. It's all very common. All very
energy.
Common, of course. But well, that is it. That was the final slide. So
a fascinating game.
Now you are a League of Legends pro, and just as a reminder here, I do not. Let me just zoom in on that so it's perfectly clear. Just a quick reminder here: I do not play League of Legends. I have had relations with women. So that's about it for the lesson. I think if there's no further questions from the group or from the chat, if the chat has anything I missed, feel free to throw it out there. I think we're Daniel J, you're ready to teach esports at Emerson College.
When will that become an actual class?
Oh no!
You can major in it.
Wait, what?
Yeah. Emerson made this crazy.
It was like game design.
Is it like IDIP or like a fully?
It's more like it's like part of the communication school. It's like sort of a journalism thing.
Wow.
They made this crazy.
Up with my degree.
Yeah, they made this crazy bum rush because they wanted to be called the first school in the country to allow you to get a degree in esports.
Which is get a degree in comedies.
If anyone is out there, as someone who professionally works in esports, if anyone is out there and considering that for your lifestyle, do not get a degree in esports.
Do not go to Emerson.
You can go to Emerson College, study something else. If you want to be in esports,
study something that'll, make you proud to tell people your major.
Yeah, if you want to work in esports, get a practical degree that you can both use for hard skills and also. Are
you calling film a practical degree right now?
It's a hard skill. It is a concrete set of skills that can be applied in the esports industry or outside of it.
If you're in the communications department, just get a journalism degree. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's chill.
Yeah.
I got one.
Don't get an esports degree. Yeah. Trust me. Maybe 20 years from now, that'll be worthwhile, but right now, it's a fucking scam.
God.
Damn, they on your head, Daniel? What? What's on my head? Who's on my head?
Harold.
Harold? What the fuck is
Emerson
going on?
College. Film student solidarity. I never once use it.
Yep.
It's, I mean, it's a lifestyle. I haven't worked in the film. I studied film. I didn't work in the film industry.
I work in the film industry, but I don't think you need the degree for that one.
Yeah, it depends. It depends on the person. That's a different conversation, though.
Yeah.
I call myself film school adjacent.
Yeah, more basically going to Emerson College, the school we went to. It's such a big film school. It's such a large majority film that like even if you studied something else, you're probably a film kid. Just 'cause, like you were friends with every single person you know as a film person.
Yeah.
70% of the school,
something like that.
Hey, Sharpie, computer engineering degree, no problems with that. It's a good fallback. It's a good fallback.
Yeah, at least you have
practical skills.
That's what I'm saying. Like, have a practical skill. It's a fucking fallback.
Yeah.
If you spend 4 years studying esports,
oh, God,
and then you can't find a job in the esports industry, God forbid, you're fucked. Like, what do you do with that piece of paper that you just acquired?
You become a professional gamer.
A big
boy version.
Yeah, just do that.
Yeah, every professional gamer actually has a degree in esports. It's essential for the job description.
Otherwise, they won't give you the job. It's like corporate.
Yeah, exactly.
Unless you major in finance.
When they're like scouting players, they're like, "Oh, this guy's so good, but he didn't get his esports degree, so we can't sign him to the team, unfortunately.
Yeah.
We legally aren't allowed
Sucks.
to." All right, I think it's time to review the notes. I think it's time to do a quick note check.
Oh boy.
We'll start with Morgan's because they're nearby here. Let me see if I get
I think they're beautiful.
Close here.
I haven't done notes like this since I was in my scrapbooking phase. So
Morgan does bullet journal.
I do bullet journal.
That's incredibly cringe.
I didn't start bullet journaling until I started taking Adderall, and suddenly it just all made sense legally taking Adderall.
You want to say that again for the camera?
Yes, I was legally prescribed Adderall, so I'm not taking it recreationally.
Yeah.
Hey.
All right, so these are Morgan's notes here. It does say League of Legends and this like kind of I don't know. She does kind of like cringe.
Yeah,
like,
I wanted to spice it up.
Yeah.
For the girls, the girls and the gays.
Lots of hearts around the explanation of what a MOBA is. I see some rainbows.
Well, the rainbows for the top, middle, bottom, and then parentheses, not gay.
Yeah, no, definitely, yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, no, definitely, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Hello, LGBT community.
Alright, I see one inaccuracy again. You didn't correct that one mistake that I called out here, which you're gonna fuck up the extra credit for that, but that's okay.
Can you read it out loud?
It's wrong. As the teacher, I wouldn't.
The note says, Daniel J is a virgin.
Wait, sorry. Hollis just gifted a sub to Bernie. Fuck yeah. What a power play. Thank you, Hollis, for the tier 1 sub. I hope Bernie hops in the chat.
Yeah, I hope we welcome Mr. Sanders himself.
Bernie, if you're out there watching, we'd love to have you on the show
Papa
someday.
Sanders.
What do you think Bernie thinks of slurs in the chat?
I think Bernie might have a little bit of an issue when it comes to that, but I think I could turn Bernie. I mean, Bernie's on Twitch, like he's a gamer.
That's true.
So I think I could convince him on League of Legends. AOC plays League of Legends.
That's true.
Good
She
night,
does play League.
Thank you for hanging out, Hollis. Appreciate the sub. We'll see you next time.
This is how Bernie can still win.
What if Bernie? See, Bernie's playing for the closing game right now. Remember the closing game phase? Bernie's actually been scaling for the late and long game for the entire election. As we heard from yesterday's news.
Yeah, he would have gotten the crucial gamer vote.
Yeah. Bernie's just waiting
the
for
most politically active identity.
Yep. Bernie's just waiting for Berrin to spawn and get the buff, and he's gonna come in like last minute and just kind of carry the late game. I see neutral objective big. You did make a note that they were the big fellas. That's important.
Yeah, very big fellas.
I see you tried to do some kind of like fancy block letters here with the word dragon. It didn't quite play. I see like some waves like going around the page. Yeah, around Shelly and Berrin is kind of like on fire. Not super accurate because he doesn't breathe fire.
But he's big,
fire.
so I figured I'd give him fire because he's like really large. And then it says Berrin parentheses guppy.
Yeah, to remember that he's the fattest one. And then I see some nice notes here. Actually, I'll zoom in on these because this part's kind of nice. Oh, fuck, sorry. this is kind of nice here. It doesn't read too well on the screen, but it's just a good couple notes there.
Can you read the note on the bottom?
No, because your handwriting fucking sucks.
Slurs are in.
Oh, fuck. Hold on. Please hold. Please hold.
Hold for clicky button.
Please hold.
Hold for button clicky.
The Coffee Breath Show.
The Coffee Breath Show.
It says.
I see here. Slurs are integral to gameplay. That's important. Yeah. Good.
Surrounded by hearts.
Yeah, lots of hearts around the word slur. I guess Morgan's really speaking for herself here. I personally do not put slurs in the in-game chat, and that's why I'm not a League of Legends player.
As someone who has been called a lot of slurs, I figured I'd spice it up and add some little hearts. It'd be kind of fun.
So that's some spiciness and slurs.
Yeah.
Liz, I think it's time to check out your notes, and we'll determine a winner here.
I started off with the intention to be funny, but then my high school need to achieve brain kicked in, and I just took notes.
You actually drew a better Summoner's Rift than I did, which is crazy because I think you based it off of my drawing and somehow just did it better.
Return monitor.
Whoa. I'm gonna get close in there so you guys can see. She drew a more accurate Summoner's Rift than I did, so that's some big points right there. I see some inaccuracies here about me playing
it says Dan has played lots of League of Legends and is hearts stinky adult virgin at heart.
That's not true. I do see some kind of charts here that she made. I don't really know where she got some of this information from. Wow, you did really go hard with the Summoner's Rift. She got the hits on there. She has little notes on every single point. She got the points that were kind of too small to even see. Oh wow, this is a lot of fucking writing.
I took a lot of notes in high school.
Liz went for the more I guess studious approach. Morgan was kind of doing some fucking doodle bullshit. Morgan was doing some fucking doodle bop bullshit over here.
This makes sense for my brain. I need it to be pretty.
I wrote down the information.
Yeah, Liz actually wrote the information, which is good to know.
Are you saying that Nexus in a heart is not the information? You can't see it, but it says Nexus.
Please scan and post these notes. I will do that. I will probably in the maybe in the YouTube version of this when I edit it for YouTube, I'll put pictures in there and I'll probably post them somewhere too because these are funny. Yeah, these are pretty accurate, pretty straightforward notes. You did some color coding. Again, another inaccuracy here about me.
Oh, it says recap. Dan plays LOL and is a virgin.
We're not gonna read that part. We're not gonna read that part. Okay. I see the focus points here. Lots of text. You can see all that text there.
You gotta have the information.
She really wrote the literature. Is there an Instagram? Yeah, that's my Instagram there. I may post it there. I'll probably post it on Twitter somewhere. You'll find it somewhere. But you can follow me on there. See my really funny stories. I do some great content on there.
Do you?
My stories are fucking hilarious.
Okay.
Shut the fuck up. Honest to God, shut the fuck up. You're gonna lose this contest just by being an asshole. By being just an asswipe. All right, last page.
Yeah, I feel like this contest should be won based on who said that Dan is virgin less.
Yeah, right now that's how it's kind of looking because I see again for the fucking 5th time in Liz's notes.
3rd time, and you brought it up 3 times. So I had to write it down.
Recap. Dan plays LOL. And then a little emoticon face, and then in pink, virgin.
Yeah, so right now Liz has lost a lot of points. It's going to be hard to come back from this. Although I do appreciate the detail and accuracy in your notes, even noting things such as Big Bad in reference to Baron Nashor. I do appreciate the attention to detail there, but I am going to have to unfortunately deduct some points based on the large, kind of stunning amount of inaccuracies. I'm not really sure where they all came from. It's kind of shocking to me that you...
I think it's from living with you.
No, I just don't really understand where in that whole lesson that I gave that you would have, kind of acquired that information.
Dan, as a graduate of the International Baccalaureate program, I was taught to question history and not accept the main view of it, and go via many different sources. Question your revisionist fucking bullshit.
You want to talk about fucking incel energy? Plugging your International Baccalaureate status? Go fuck yourself. You're out here making fun of me, I can't play League of Legends, he's a virgin, and then in the same fucking breath, saying, by the way, as a graduate student of the International Baccalaureate program, go fuck yourself. You're done. You're actually canceled.
Sharpie understands the hell that we both went through.
No, it's
I
fucking
can't
over.
defend either of you as a as someone who wrote fan fiction.
Yeah, we're all
I can
bad.
keep my mouth shut.
3 IT grads in the chat right now. Y'all are outnumbered.
Liz, I'm just saying it. Your privilege is showing.
Virgin was all of us this entire time.
I'm just saying it, Liz. Your privilege is showing on stream. So that's kind of fucked up. Not all of us could attend an international baccalaureate program like you, and the fact that you're gonna plug it in that way, throw it in my face.
None of us were fucking nerds.
I had to test into my program.
Oh, I had to test into my program. Oh, I'm too smart. I don't play League of Legends. Oh, I had to test into my high school. Oh no! Oh no! Oh, I had to test into my high school. I'm so smart. I'm so educated. Oh, I couldn't even go to my high school without paying.
Hey, we're not Nordstrom. Yeah, I went to public school. I'm not even Nordstrom Rack. I went to the TJ Maxx of public high school.
It was a public school.
And it wasn't even the nice suburban ones. It was like those TJ Maxxes where there are like sports bras and like lotions in the candle aisle, and it's like,
yeah, it's
maybe
like
I'll get a deal.
The
you know?
TJ Maxx
Maybe
Home
a good
Goods
deal.
combination.
Yeah.
That's how you know it's a real classy TJ Maxx. I think the East Coast is jumping out here, but that's how you know it's a real classy
God,
TJ
now I
Maxx.
want to go to TJ Maxx.
If they have the combination home goods there.
Or when it's like
Oh,
the combination home goods TJ Maxx in what was once a Filene's basement. That's
Ooh,
cool
yeah.
I
energy.
forgot Filene's basement existed.
Filene's basement.
I got my
Orange
prom
Lake
dress there
existed.
for $14
Whoa,
because it was while it was closing down.
that's crazy. Your school has a public IB? I've never heard of
Mine
that before.
was too.
Wait, really?
Yeah, I went to public school.
Oh, I thought you went to private school. I
No.
just assumed when you always wouldn't shut the fuck up about your fucking IB education that you went to a private school.
I've never been to private school.
I've never heard of a public school having IB.
No, my county was just fucking weird.
Yeah, that seems weird.
I also
Well,
went to an aerospace-themed middle school, which was also a public school.
I mean,
So my county's fucked up.
you did grow up in DC. Like,
Yeah.
if there's ever gonna be an aerospace-themed school, it would probably be there.
DC.
IBs are yeah. See, I've never fucking heard of that shit. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, well, it's very clear to me that despite a couple inaccuracies in Morgan's notes and maybe less attention to detail, overall, I just couldn't. I can't let Liz's notes slide with that amount of incorrect information in them.
I didn't really want to win, so.
Yeah, you know, again, having gone to public school, having gone to the TJ Maxx of public schools, I would say this is the TJ Maxx of notes. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You kind of did the TJ Maxx version of Liz's notes. That makes sense.
Ben,
You know,
in the
there's
chat,
a little
unfortunately,
substance
correct.
and very pretty.
Gotta get the DC children smart so they can do war crimes for Boeing.
Oh my god.
Oh, Liz, quick,
It's
on the
true.
spot, what's your top 10 favorite war crimes?
Who's your favorite war criminal? Go.
You know, like, half of the people I went to high school with probably do commit war crimes.
I thought you were gonna say just we're descendants of war criminals,
But
which would
probably
also
that
make
too.
sense.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
wouldn't be surprised.
Maddie asked what an IB is. It's like the really fancy,
Don't ask,
like
Maddie.
ritzy version of like AP. Like my school had like AP classes, like the advanced placement.
It's
where
AP,
like,
but Welsh and terrible.
yeah, instead of like AP is like the American kind of standardized testing, and IB is it's called International Baccalaureate because it's like an international scale, kind of similar to AP but way like cringier, I think.
Naomi Campbell's war crimes. Wait, what war crimes did she commit?
Wait, what? Yeah.
Ben,
what,
do you
what-
have
Yeah.
the answers?
Yeah. What it?
Yeah.
That is Ben. Ben does fucking QN and shit in the chat.
God. I don't know if she was Wait, but what did she do?
What are the crimes, Ben?
Yeah. Oh, blood diamond. Yeah, that makes sense.
Oh, okay. Yeah, blood diamonds.
Makes
That makes
sense.
sense. Well, Morgan was the winner. We're all the winners of tonight's
We're all the
episode because we're all coming out more, a little bit more knowledgeable than before. You know what would be really fun if you guys stay up with me for the first game tonight and we just record your reactions to it.
I'll be around. I have nothing better to do.
God.
I think that would be really fun. Maybe no promises, but maybe keep an eye out for that because that would be really fun to see the knowledge applied.
Oh God.
I'm not gonna make you guys
I
play
will.
League of Legends, but I do want to see if you can actually.
I will have my notes ready. Again, tops, middle, bottom, parentheses, not gay, and parentheses. So I'm ready.
Yeah, I'm talking about Worlds. I'm covering Worlds for work. So in a few hours will be starting a 12-hour work shift. But had to make sure we were here for the people in the Coffee Breath Twitch chat. We love you guys. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, if you're on East Coast time, you're kind of fucked. The game started, I think 1 a.m. Pacific, so I'm doing night shifts for the entire fucking month. Losing my mind.
29 days left, baby.
You can't quite see it, but right over there, I'm using the laser pointer. It is 29 days remaining. I was talking to a friend yesterday, and they were like, "You're still doing your show, like, while this is going on?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "How are you surviving?" And I was like, "I don't really know, but I definitely think that over the course of the next month or so, you will be able to go back and click on the first frame from each episode of the Coffee Breath Show throughout this month and just watch my soul slowly leave my body."
Yeah, just watch the light go out from behind his eyes.
The real energy is when Dan walks into our apartment just as me and Liz are about to go to bed.
Yeah, and I'm like, "Good morning, gamers," because they have some leftover food or something, and it's too late for me to order
or
anything.
He comes to play with Guppy.
Yeah, I
badass cat.
come to just pet the cat because otherwise I'm just alone with no contact to anyone for the next 12 hours while I sit alone in my room and watch League of Legends, cut fucking highlights. Well,
what a life. What an existence you have.
It is an existence. I'm having fun. I'm having a blast.
Are you?
Yeah!
Oh boy!
Woo!
29 days left. Or 29 nights
29.
left.
Yeah, that's as of today. So there's 29 days including today. Halloween is the grand finals, so that'll be a real experience. Yes, of course. Shout out to we had a lot of Boston fellas in the chat tonight.
Howdy. Shout out to Faux
Boston
Pasture.
is my hometown. I'm from there originally, and that's where we all met, going to school together. I have never been to Faux Pasture. I always heard it was really good. I'm not really that big into pho. I'm not really a big pho guy. Also, one of my roommates got food poisoning there, and so I was always kind of scared of it.
Yeah.
But,
I feel like in most of the restaurants around Emerson College and like downtown Boston, it's a given you'll probably get food poisoning at some point.
Yeah, I mean it's downtown Boston.
It's like
there are rats in the kitchens.
Yeah, you just kind of hope that it's a place that you don't really like that much.
We literally lived in a town nicknamed Rat City.
Yeah, we literally lived on Trashford Street.
Rats are so
place.
big of a thing in Boston that there was a Facebook group in our college called Emerson College Dining Hall Rat Spotting, which was a group where people would just post images of the rats in our dining hall.
My favorite day was Roach Fridays. You were allowed to post roaches.
That group is like one of the funniest fucking things. Like most of the dumb shit that happened in our college is like not that funny. But
dining hall rat posting.
That was a unifying experience.
Yeah. Remember the heart? What heart? Wait, what? Heart from the calf?
What?
Oh, that picture someone posted where they got like a steak and it just looked like a fucking heart.
Oh, I do kind of remember that.
Oh God.
Yeah. Well, anyway, we're way off now, so
we're off track.
We'll probably end it there. I'm gonna go prepare myself for work and force them to maybe watch a couple games of League of Legends with me while I cover it. Thank you all for joining us. If this is your first time joining us for the COFFEEBREATH Show, we appreciate it, and feel free to hit us with a follow because we're back.
I hope you learned something about League of Legends.
Every Friday night at 8 p.m. Pacific. I hope you learned something. Usually we do a different bit every week, so it's not always gamer themed. It's not always educational. Sometimes it's very far from educational. Sometimes it's the exact opposite.
Given a true constant of the show to call Dan a virgin, though.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's something you're always gonna get. I do before we go want to give a quick shout out to Mel in the chat who sent us a couple weeks ago. We did an episode where we wrote love letters for the homies, and Mel actually I got a response from her just the other night. I think it was off. I think I put it over here. Hold on 1 second. Let me find it. Fuck.
He's off. Where'd you put it, buddy?
We'll stall.
So I want to show it up.
Anyway,
Rugrats in Paris.
Yeah, Rugrats in Paris.
No, not again. Where the fuck did I put it?
Anyway, my favorite part of Rugrats in Paris was when they, in fact, landed in Paris.
Yes, they got off the plane at, I believe, Charles de Gaulle Airport.
Yeah.
One of the worst airports in the world. Dan, are you okay?
Mel, I promise I didn't lose it. It's just that when I was clearing off the bar tonight to set up for the show, I just put things in a lot of different places. But it is going to get hung up. It's going to get hung up right here on the wall. I tweeted out a picture if anybody wants to see it. Mel made this amazing poster sign thing for us. It's about this big, but we're gonna hang it up on the wall here. I've finally been crowned as a official Chuck E. Cheese Chad of the match, which is something I've always aspired for since my early days in the Overwatch League, and now I can finally own that title. And I got a vouch from Chuck E. Cheese himself, who liked my tweet about it, without even tagging him, which is weird.
The Chuck the Cheese, the legend.
Yeah, he's just kind of, I don't know, he's
a homie.
He was out there looking for me. He must know that I'm his biggest fan.
Yeah, he follows you, I think.
He doesn't follow me, which makes it even creepier. But he liked like four of my tweets last night.
Do you think he name searches?
For sure,
I think he does.
Oh, that's how he definitely had to name search to find it. But he might follow like Mal or Avast maybe because it's a meme in Overwatch. So maybe somehow he saw it that way. But regardless, this show is now approved by Chuck E. Cheese himself.
Great.
We've been
SpawnCon.
Yeah, when is he gonna?
Chuck E. Cheese SpawnCon.
Yeah.
When it? Hey, Chucky.
Chuck E. Cheese merch.
Chucky, I know you're out there, dude. Chucky, I know
Mr.
I know you're out there, Mr. Cheese. Just slide into the DMs. You're kind of thirsting. You're kind of thirsting for me with all these likes. I guess I accidentally thirst trapped Chuck E. Cheese. But if you ever want to turn that thirst into some profit, some cold hard cash, Chucky, you know where to find me. And that's gonna do it for the Coffee Breath Show this week. We will see you guys next week, Friday night at 8 p.m. Who knows what we'll be up to? I'll probably come up with it at 4 in the morning the night before. But in the meantime, you can drop an exclamation point YouTube in the chat to subscribe to our YouTube, where I post the VODs for this in case you ever miss an episode of the show. I know it's pretty late for our East Coast fellas, but thanks for joining us, all of you East Coasters. That'll do it, I think, fellas. Any closing thoughts? Liz, closing thoughts!
In conclusion, I think we have definitive proof that Dan is indeed a virgin.
Yeah, bye! Okay.